Smoke Dragon? After those two topics about getting old and the other one having emergency crisis mode,
We got,
can you save
come
this
on,
ship?
dig us out of this
No.
ditch.
So I had somebody call me the other day about work, yesterday, I guess, and was multitasking. So he was getting a prescription for his kid, and he kind of got off onto this side tangent rant. He goes in, he gives his insurance card, they ring it up, it's $1 bazillion. And they say, oh, if you want it, we got this prescription card, like the free one that's just like a coupon that they scan on the counter.
Yeah, what is that?
GoodRx, maybe?
GoodRx, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking prescription RX. But
So they just scan it, and it went down to like $22 from $1 gazillion.
Mhm.
So the question is, what is the point of that? Why don't they just make it the price? If there's no special thing you have to do, who's getting paid on that scan?
Yeah.
And why are we doing that? You reckon? Like I can't figure out where that money's going and how
It
who's
almost
winning there.
Well, what I don't understand is if you don't pay for the GoodRx, right? Like they just say, "Hey, we can scan this for you to save you a little bit of money."
Yeah.
Nice of them to do that. But who foots that bill to GoodRx?
You cannot use GoodRx and insurance at the same time.
Okay, so maybe that's what it was. He gave
so-
his insurance card and it's $1 bazillion.
yeah.
They tried GoodRx and
Yeah.
it was without.
Yeah.
Insurance.
So insurance, you they'll give you this rate, right? So then they have True Scripts, GoodRx, all these other like I will call them third party
Payors?
Yeah, or like third party maybe like a discount company or some shit that they've got worked with some other, big pharma that's now when you go GoodRx, are you getting name brand or generic medicine?
Yeah, I always get generic anyway. But so I don't know.
Like I wonder if it's for like if you sign up for GoodRx, are you going to go for the
But you don't
original
sign up
Xanax
for
or
it.
are you going to go for the aftermarket?
But it's
thing?
not a sign up thing.
It's not.
No, it's just a card on the side and they'll scan
But
it.
I mean, you have to. But don't you have to pay for it? GoodRx.
No.
You just go up to the counter and they'll scan that doohickey and it'll be a discounted rate.
Oh yeah, so here it is right here. Yeah, you can get a free GoodRx prescription card by entering your information here, and it'll send it your way.
And CVS just has it sitting there on the counter and they'll just scan it for you.
Yeah, so basically, if you have shit insurance, and your shit insurance doesn't cover that medicine very well, then I guess maybe CVS is just doing you a solid by saying, hey, man, let's screw that and we'll just go ahead and do this. But there again, to go back to your question, if GoodRx can give this discount to make this $7 million drug not $7 million, then why is it $7 million in the beginning?
Now, see, I think I remember now that you're walking me through it this way or make those statements. I think I remember seeing a snip of the Joe Rogan podcast maybe, and this guy was like, look, I can get you the drug for 37 cents. When you go through insurance, they mark it up because they got to cover the cost of everybody doing stuff. So he's like, it may cost me $1 for that whole prescription, and I can give it to you for that. But when you tell me you're on insurance, I have to use your insurance.
Because it's the economy of scale thing. That's what insurance is, because you pool all those risk into one pile, and that's how they do it. Well, it's
my insurance right now, which I don't know why it is. And I don't know if this is information that I'm supposed to say or not. So if I do get fired, then I'm sorry. But I haven't paid for medicine in a long time, like probably since the beginning of the year. And I don't know if it's something new that we got.
Did you hit your max out of pocket with your surgery?
Well, yeah, but not before that. My surgery was in March. So like all those meds that I had, even, that are directly correlated with my med or my surgery and everything else, I haven't paid shit for insurance for prescriptions. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like my doctor bills and everything, I'm still paying, the out of pocket stuff, still. So anyway, it's just it's just like we were talking about with the water stuff and the insurance and everything like that. I think that's just really finicky shit that I don't think that, I'm not saying you're dumb, but I am dumb. And I don't think that that's something that I'll probably ever figure out, like how that all works.
Well,
you know what I
so
mean?
what it is, so Fortune has a pretty cool article that talks about it. So this guy to your point, his pharmacy said with your insurance $500, and then he left, went to another pharmacy that would give it to him for $300 without using his insurance card, and he figured out, well, how can I go and save $200 by just walking down the street? And basically what it is that him and his team put together enough price information for its data scientists to unravel the complex contracts between PBMs, which are pharmacy benefit managers, and pharmacies that set those rates. They found that plenty of research that prices varied widely, particularly on low-cost, frequently prescribed generic drugs. So understanding the working system, that's how they use GoodRx to crack it. So basically what they've done is, by making price comparison and price shopping something of a breakthrough in the industry, GoodRx is the broadly accepted, broadly used price transparency tool that exists in healthcare. So to grasp the intricacies of the company's business model, you would understand the economic ecosystem in which pharmacies operate.
Wild. So this dude that was on Rogan, his name was Brigham Bueller, maybe?
Okay.
Former pharmacy rep, and he was talking about health insurance corruption in pharmacies. And like, I didn't obviously watch it, but I scrolled to the first comment. It says, pharmacist here. This guy is spot on. This is a profit-driven system, not a patient outcome-driven system. So I would imagine it's just like, so just talking about this and as recently for me, I did some checking on the Ozempis, the fat shot. Mm-hmm. And for me to go through my insurance to get on the Zempi train, to get on the fat shot bus, it's going to be like, it was expensive as hell. $700,000-$800,000 a month, through insurance for it, just because I'm not diabetic. You can go on the internet and buy it for $500 a month, and it's the same shit. Mm-hmm. And I just but that goes to show you the same thing. Like, they don't. I mean, it's just it's a racket. Now, does that answer your question to a T? Probably not. But I think we all cumulatively agree that
it just seems like if it's that easy, like, okay, the gig's up, like, why don't we just?
Yeah.
So GoodRx is able to monetize the discounts somewhat ironically through its partnership with the various PBMs. When a consumer seeks out a lower price medication at a particular pharmacy with a GoodRx coupon, the PBM with the contracted price processes the claim and rewards GoodRx with a sort of referral fee. These fees account for 90% of GoodRx revenues.
We'll have to get over.
It can be a sweet deal for PBMs that they're able to elbow their way in, pick up on revenue transactions they previously had no part of. So it's kind of one of those deals where insurance doesn't care as long as they get paid. These drug companies don't care as long as they get paid.
Right.
Going through insurance, they probably have a higher cost because they have to deal with all that paperwork. Mm-hmm. So they cut out the middleman of insurance and say, hey, because you're saving me, let's say it's for that prescription, you're saving me 5 hours of work for my employee. I'll go ahead. You can buy it at X amount.
It just makes you wonder if CVS buys those drugs in bulk at a heavily discounted rate from that supplier, that pharmaceutical supplier, and then they can sell it, as long as they're making anything, they'll sell it for whatever, whether it's, like you said, dealing with the bullshit through insurance or just scanning that GoodRx card and you make $20 and then on, next guy.
Well, and it's kind of like the idea of applying it to a different thought process, but almost the same. So you're Doc Flamian down there and you have insurance. And let's say you go down to see Doc for, name it, you got a sinus infection. Mm-hmm. It would almost be the same
Case
way
of the clap.
as Doc saying, well, we can run this through insurance and that's why those copays stay low at $15.
Right.
Because you could have doctors undercut the system.
Right.
They see you for a half hour, everything you need, all out, kit caboodle, and you not be out any big money, but you're doing it on a cash basis. Like there's a cash value to that amount.
Can you do that? Can you go to the doctor and pay for services rendered?
I would say no.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think you can.
I don't think it'd be something that you'd broadcast if you're doing that. I'm not going to say you can't, but I bet it's not something that you just.
Here's a question.
Yeah, but if you're uninsured,
Ooh.
if you're uninsured
Oh yeah.
and you go
But
see
that's now. How can you? Once again,
you can voluntarily not participate in the Affordable Care Act.
okay.
You can check that box
Right.
or however that happens.
Let me ask you this though: could you? Would a family doctor, such as our friend down the road here, actually have a patient that was uninsured?
Oh, sure.
Oh, I
You
bet.
think so?
Oh, I bet his practice is made up of those that are insured. I bet probably 60% are insured. Or you think that's too high?
I bet it's
I think
at
it's
least
too low.
that. I'd say it's probably low. I think there's just not people with cash enough to do it anymore. Because I think it's not. There's a risk to not do it. There'd have to be something. But like, so I don't have. What don't I have? I'm on Jenna's dental insurance, and it covers like my teeth getting cleaned.
Cleaned, yeah.
But I've got this permanent retainer from like 8th grade still.
Major dental. You
And
don't have.
Wait,
a couple months ago, it
from
popped.
8th grade?
Mhm.
Why have you had it that long?
It's just permanent retainer. It just stays there forever.
Your
I
mouth
guess
hasn't changed since you were in 8th grade.
I guess not.
It was like 35 years ago, wasn't it?
But the glue just a year ago popped loose on
Oh,
one
hell.
side, so I had this metal wire sticking out. And I told Jen, I was like,
Oh,
"Can you
I
just
remember
draw-"
that.
Yeah. And he went in. He was like, "You gonna use insurance for this?" I was like, "No, I don't have it. We'll just figure it out." He was like, "Oh, okay." And he looked at whoever was there. He's like, "Do you think you can handle just if you just grind that down and glue it back on?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "How's $100 sound?" I was like,
Yep.
"Perfect."
Well, see, and
No
that,
shit.
Because I didn't have insurance, and okay, we're just not going to dick with it, and it was like just
Yeah.
but see, to that point, that's why, like, if you had a doctor's office, because medical insurance is more commonly had than what vision and dental are, your dentist and your optometrist have to have a little bit more insight and creativity into what they do.
Right.
Because, like, that $100 there, it didn't probably take but 15 minutes.
They probably went and bought a pizza and a 6-pack. After.
Oh, sure. That was the
Yeah.
hardest part because they didn't want to throw that on the books either.
Yeah.
Because now there's some other.
So
people.
what about the teledocs? Same thing. You know, like
They're paid all by the insurance though.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, because we use that a lot.
The
Right.
insurance companies are doing that just to control it, I would say, because they don't. They have to still come to terms with Memorial Hospital, who Doc Flamion works on. Anytime you go for a visit, so they offer teledoc. They can just say, "We're going to pay you X amount of dollars a
See,
year."
we use a
You're gonna
third
have
party.
this. Yeah, most of them do.
Yeah, like Swift. We use Swift.
But then that way they don't have to mess. They're cutting out that whole paperwork approvals thing because now it's just
Yeah.
And
sure.
And so
Swift
you-
MD is wild because like you can use that for anybody in, you know, they say in your household, but like
They don't check.
I may or may not have allegedly got some prescription what was it, nasal spray
Yeah. Because that was when I had COVID.
for a guy across the street that
what I had.
he stayed at my house maybe that night or something.
yeah. I've
So he
drank-
was currently in the household, you know. So
Yeah. Drank beer down there.
but yeah. Anyway,
What about-
good topic?
Well, what about, I had this thought the other day because we're talking about it. Doctors that make house calls. Like you see it in the old television and the
Oh,
movies.
yeah.
Like Doc's got the old black bag and making the visit to the house.
I'd say for the wealthy, like I'd say probably some of the. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, you got all the big timers; they got their own personal docs. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that's a deal. Now I don't know if I don't know a friend of the program down the road. I don't know if I know he goes to nursing homes but as far as like going to shut-ins and stuff like that, I don't know if you know what I mean. I don't know if he.
I was
does
just wondering, could you imagine? So I told Janelle, we were talking about it, and a big thing is mobile veterinary offices.
Oh yeah, shit yeah, dude.
So they'll pull in, they get your dogs.
Yeah.
They'll do what they need to do. And it's not like major stuff.
Mm-mm.
But could you imagine?
They have like
if-
a van, don't they? Have like a van that's got like a little
well,
work table. In the
Yeah,
back?
it just depends on their operation. But could you imagine if you're a doc and you call up, one of the boys has got a sinus infection, and doc pulls up, kid comes in, checks everything out, here's your script, everything you go, they go on their way. Could you imagine that customer service? Like, it would be interesting, like, obviously, because in our area, we're not spread out, but
Right.
like, imagine being out in Wyoming
Right.
or somewhere like that where your local hospital is, you know,
Hours away.
yeah,
Yeah.
where you were just kind of a mobile doctor in a motorhome. Like, this is what you went to medical school for.
I'd say those skills would be highly sought after in a demographic like that. You know what I mean? Like if you were out in the
especially if you're running a big operation like a big ranch out there.
right, you'd have to have like
You don't want somebody getting the clap and giving it to everybody else.
Yeah, you want a doc on board, or
Yeah.
at least keep enough of that clap pill on hand to where we could
a
really
shot of penicillin in it.
knock that in the head. Yeah, it's easy. They don't put your dick between a board anymore. They just give you some pills and a move on.
I don't think that was real.
I know a guy that's had it multiple times, and it's just easy round of meds, and it just quits burning, and you know you're good shape.
I went to law school with
That's
a guy
wild.
that got gonorrhea twice.
Where'd you get that from? A toilet seat? Well, the best part is this fella here. He got it once and went into the doc and got his medicine, and he had a family doc at the time, and went back and got it again, and it's like, well, Mr. Insert name here. See, you didn't learn your lesson the first time.
Yeah.
That's what they said. You know what I mean? Imagine that embarrassing moment.
A buddy in law school, though, he had gonorrhea twice.
Ooh.
And he goes, I don't know how it come up in conversation. I don't know how that conversation, I don't
That's
remember
the
how
old
it happened.
tapioca pudding pee there. That's for
And
that
he
roadie
said,
neck.
he goes, I woke up. He goes, I woke up the next morning to go piss. And he goes, it honestly felt like somebody had on the inside of my urethra cut 1,000
ball of
cuts
glass
with a little razor. And he goes, he's like it made me so sick to my stomach. And he goes, I went, got penicillin shot in the ass and the medication, and he was like, felt better. But then he goes, I got it the second time, and he goes, I was so pissed because I didn't learn from the first time. But he's an interesting cat. But yeah, he gonorrhea twice.
That's wild.
Yeah, that is whew. That is a tough spot. Hey, Dave, that was a good topic. We kind of got off there a little bit.
That's fine.
But it's okay.
Part of
It's
it.
all okay.